and welcome to this week's episode of Around the Square. Today, our special guest is Jerry Faith. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, everybody. I'm back from vacation.
Yay! I'm glad you had a great time, too.
Wonderful.
Jerry, can you talk to the residents a little bit about the COVID that we have on campus and what they can do to protect themselves?
Okay. So we do have some positive cases on campus. The number, in my opinion, doesn't really matter. We have positive cases, and we need to think about our own accountability and our own actions that we can do to protect ourselves. If I've learned nothing in my whole life, it's that I don't control other people, I control myself, and what I control is my choice of mask that I can wear. So this is still your strongest defense against COVID. I've had a lot of people questioning who has COVID, why aren't residents made more aware of who, and my answer to that is you still should treat everybody as if they could have it. And you can't force them to wear a mask, as I can't force someone to wear a mask, but I can freely put one on myself. So this is still your best defense. Yes, there are positive cases. People are not as sick as they were at the beginning of the pandemic when we did not have people vaccinated. And so what I think we all have to look at is where we were at the beginning of this pandemic and where we are now. People who are contracting COVID, most people aren't deathly, I have to go to the hospital, I'm on a ventilator sick, but people still are getting sick. The symptoms vary: cold symptoms, fever, achy, tired, those general types of symptoms, from shortness of breath to people having difficulties, for people not being able to breathe on their own. Where that is not the most common scenario as it was in the beginning. But still, being COVID positive still means you are infectious and you can spread it to other people. So if you know you're positive, or you're having symptoms and you haven't been able to test and go get tested, you should still quarantine. You can call myself or Debbie. We'll talk about what your symptoms are and what we're recommending. What I would really like people to understand and think about is, once you've had those symptoms and you've decided to go about to the dining room and groups and activities, thinking, oh, it's a cold, oh, it's my sinuses, and then by the time you feel sick and feel crappy, you could have exposed a lot of people. So staying home, quarantining, calling me, we'll make sure you get a meal delivered. You can take yourselves to go get a test. You can get buy some home tests now.
I'm actually doing a segment on here following this on how residents can obtain a free test from the government.
Perfect. So I can't stress enough, you can't take it back. Once you've been out there, and if you do have it and you're having symptoms, but you choose to go on and out and about, you can't take it back. Mm-hmm. So I know everybody's excited, things being normal, things getting back to normal, but there is still COVID. So if you're coming out and about and you feel icky, at least wear your mask. Like myself, I just came back from vacation. I was at a big graduation ceremony. I was with some family. I've been wearing my mask out and about just because I know I was around a bunch of people that I'm not normally around. I'm still only going to the grocery store. I don't go out to restaurants yet. It's my choice. But that's what I'm trying to empower everybody to understand, their choices and their saying things. Another question that I'm getting from folks is asking about the second booster. And my recommendation that needs to be a conversation with your physician. And the reason I say that is probably most people here are over the age of 65, and it is a recommendation, but your physician will have your records. They can be able to look at the timeline of when you were vaccinated and help you determine if a second booster is the right thing for you. It's not for me to tell you you should or shouldn't. So that's a decision a personal decision, and if you're wanting assistance making that decision, that should be with your physician.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jerry. As always, your advice is always welcomed and comforting. So we thank you and have a great weekend.
You're welcome. Stay safe, everybody.
Well, hello, residents. I have had a couple of requests from residents to show you how to obtain a free COVID test from the U.S. government. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go step by step. This is my computer screen, and I'm just going to show you step by step on what to do on how you can request free COVID tests from the United States government. It's absolutely free, and you get up to 8 of them. So here we go. So the first thing you're going to do is just do a Google search. And what I did is I typed in free COVID test from government. And I clicked on that. And then as you can see, it gave me, I apologize for the camera here, a little low budget here. The first website that shows up, you're going to click on that. That's covid.gov. And the actual link is called covid.gov/tests. And from here, you can go right in to order free at-home tests. You would click there. If you do not have access to the internet, or you do not feel comfortable using the online form, you can call this number. It is 1-800-232-0233. Again, the number is 1-800-232-0233. I'll zoom in on that so you can see it a little bit better. Right there, 800-232-0233. Okay, but on this case, I want to show you how easy it is to order a test. Now, Bethany in our IHS office, she's allowed me, because I've already ordered mine. I asked her if I could order for her, just so I can show you this information. So the very first thing you're going to do is put your name and last name. And this is Beth. We're going to do this for Bethany. And an email address. All right. And then you're going to fill in the shipping address and put her address in. And that's it. And then we're going to do checkout. And as you can see, look, it's free. It's $0. See that? $0. Review your order. If you have to make any changes, you would hit the edit button, but we don't need to make any changes. And we hit send. And that's it. And then you get a confirmation that they are going to be sending you 2 separate packages. And they give you tracking numbers for each one. And it tells you when it's going to be shipped out. You can place another order if you need to. But this is really, really simple. I did mine yesterday and I got a confirmation that they should be in my mailbox today. So it works really, really quickly. But again, it's a very simple search. You can just go to Google and Google free COVID tests from government, or you can visit the site directly, which is covid.gov/tests. And you can put your order in through the online portal by clicking this button here, or by calling the 800 number. And again, that 800 number is 1-800-232-0233. Now, I have not myself called that number, but I would imagine the same information that they'll ask, nothing really personal, just your home address. Well, if you don't have email, they're not going to ask you for that. But it's very simple. And you get 2 of them, 2 boxes, which contains 8 tests in total. So I hope this helps everyone.
Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you guys for coming to see assisted living. We're not going to go see memory care today. Okay, since we do have those positive cases, we're going to stay out of memory care, but I'll give you some layouts or send them along. Phyllis, I could email them to you and you can distribute.
You can paper them to me and I'll copy them.
Paper, that'll work. While we're at it, I'll just make a handful of copies. That way everyone can take one if they want one. But it's going to go over some layouts. It's going to show you some pricing. It's going to show you some of the amenities that our residents receive here with us in assisted living and memory care. Our first stop, not right now, but in a second here, so you all don't get up. We're going to go look at one of our studio apartments, okay? It's staged as a studio apartment. It is a studio apartment, but it's staged with furniture. Our apartments do not come with furniture. You would bring your own from independent living, or those moving from the outside of the greater community would bring their furniture. I think I might makeshift the tour a little bit because we do not have any open 1-bedroom apartments. But I'd like to try to show you one. So while we're walking the apartments, I might think of some residents that I can knock on and see if they'll be willing to show us their apartment. That way you can at least see what that looks like, okay? After we...
David,
Yes.
Are there just 2 options, the studio and the 1-bedroom, or are there
So there's 3 total apartment layouts. Well, technically there's 4, but we're phasing one out. One of them is the studio. It's called our Osprey. 1-bedroom. One of the 1-bedrooms, I should say, is called a Naples. It's a 1-bedroom, 1 large bath. The bathroom's elongated. It's a little bit longer. Then there is the Sarasota, which is a 1-bedroom, 1 bath with a kitchenette. It previously was 2 studio apartments, and we put a door in the middle and turned one of the bathrooms into a kitchenette. And then last but not least, as the 4th option that we're phasing out, is called the Venice. As you can see, there's a theme here. It's a 1-bed, 1 bath it's a 1-bedroom, 2 bath. So it's the Sarasota, but the bathroom hasn't been changed into a kitchenette. Make sense? So it's those 2 studios put together, and they just kept both of the bathrooms at this time.
So what are they going to be turned into?
They're going to be turned into the Sarasota.
Oh.
So that bathroom is going to be changed into the kitchenette. In the kitchenette, you're going to see that it has the mini fridge and the mini freezer and the mini microwave that comes with every apartment, studio or 1-bedroom. It's going to have full-size pantry or cupboards, if you will, with a full-size sink. Those are the only appliances. So it's a space used as a kitchenette, but it doesn't have any other appliances. And the reason for that is you're offered 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in our beautiful dining room that we're going to go see after we go see the studio. So that's kind of the reasoning behind that. So you bring your own furniture, you get 3 meals a day. We offer laundry services all the way down to your personal linens. So we can do your personal linens. You'll actually see as we walk along the hallways, laundry bags are in the halls because Tuesday is our laundry day. So you'll see that. So you'd put all your clothes in one laundry bag. They'd stay in the bag, they get washed, they get dried, they get hung up and returned right to your front door. Yeah. And you'll also see when we head down to the left over here, that's our A wing. That's our activities room down there. To the right is our C wing, and that's our library. We'll get to see both. A wing is a little bit more hustle bustle. We do our happy hours twice a week. We have music and entertainment, bingo, card games, rummy cube, all the above happen over there. And then this side stays a little quieter. It's our library, like I had mentioned. But both sides, you'll see, are exactly the same layout. They have a full-size kitchen for resident and family use. So if you do have your family that comes to visit and they want to bake an apple pie or share some apple crisp with me, you can do that. There's kitchens right there for you guys to make that. My office is just right over there. My door's always open. You just leave it right on my desk. No, I'm kidding. But when you make food, you can enjoy it there in the kitchen, or you can bring it back to your apartment. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
All right. We got one question so far.
Do any of the units have a lanai?
That is a spectacular question. So the question was, do any of the apartments have a lanai? And the short answer is yes. And the long answer is 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 total apartments have a lanai. Okay? There's 1 on the 3rd floor and 5, if my math is correct, on the 2nd floor. So 6 total apartments have a lanai. It is a community lanai space. So it's outdoor and it's shared with all the residents. But you prompted a spot on our visit here today. I'm going to show you the community lanai space for those residents that don't have their own lanai, so we can see that. But the idea is, yes, the apartments are a little bit smaller than the ones you're in, depending on which one you're in. And the reason for that is, space-wise, you're going to be out enjoying all the common areas that we have. This is one of them. The activity area is one of them. A lot of residents will do puzzles or play games with their families in the library. There's a lot of open common space for residents to use. And you're always welcome to go into the dining room and use the outside lanai space that's in the dining room as well. Okay?
Is there a waiting list for these lanai apartments?
So the question was, is there a waiting list for the apartments with the lanai? And the short answer is no. We don't have a waiting list, so the short answer is no on those specific apartments. But if it were to come down to you all or one of you all wanting an apartment with a lanai, we can definitely put a list together to get that created. Okay?
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
That's okay.
Who gets preference if there's one lanai, somebody from the outside or a resident?
That is a great question. So the question was, in the event that there's a waiting list and you've got an internal community resident, life care resident, and an outside of the community resident, both on the wait list for a certain apartment. The short answer and the long answer is the internal life care resident. So you all would have priority to that apartment. And the other follow-up to that is if it's 2 residents that are life care residents, it's the one who's inquired about the apartment first. Okay? Because you're both at the same playing field, but it's who inquired first. It's a good question. Yeah. Last but not least, my last talking point before we walk or scooter is going to be, there's a monthly service fee for the apartment, just like you have a monthly service fee now. Depending on the care that you would receive, whether that's assistance with bathing, grooming, dressing, assistance to the dining room, all the above, every one of those is an a la carte, one-off ticket item, if you will. And that is on top of your monthly service fee. So you have your clinical care charges, which is called the Exhibit Z, Zorro. Good movie, by the way. And then you've got your monthly service fee. Okay, so you've got your 2. The clinical care charges caps at $2,000. $2,000. And your monthly service fee is a fixed rate. Okay. Question over here?
Are the clothes included?
Laundry,
Is that extra?
linen services.
These are what's included.
Yes. Laundry, linen services, housekeeping weekly, as well as a daily tidy of your apartment. We do have 2 laundry rooms for residents to do their own laundry. If that's something that you still would like to do, maintain your independence, you can do that. Those are all included. Wi-Fi, basic cable, heat, electric, AC, all included.
Just as we have maintenance in independent living, do you have maintenance men here?
The assisted living operations run the exact same way the rest of the community would, with maintenance, housekeeping, transportation,
Oh,
security. It's all under the same umbrella. That's a good question. Should we do some walking? One more question?
He has to go to dialysis twice a week.
We could set up that transportation just like you do in independent living.
Great.
Yep, same transportation. All right, good question. As you think of some more questions, we'll walk to see the apartment, and then save your questions until we get out. We'll stop in the dining room. I'll answer some questions, and then we'll talk about
We had to go with an appointment. The appointment for resident assistance.
Okay.
It can go up to 2,000 max, he said.
Up to.
Up to 2,000.
Yeah, come on in, guys. You can check out the bathroom on the way in or the way out. It's totally up to you. We got our camera crew in here. She's checking out the bathroom. Okay. Camera crew's here. Alrighty, guys. So this is our studio model. All the studios are the same layout. So you know we have currently 3 one-bedroom layouts, which is going to be 2. But we only have, this is the studio. This is what the studio would look like no matter if you were on the 2nd floor, 3rd floor. You'll also notice that on our 3rd floor the ceilings are vaulted. On the 2nd floor it's a flat ceiling, so that's the other difference. So on the 3rd floor we've got our dining room and we've got the laundry rooms. On the 2nd floor there's more apartments with those lanai spaces, so that's the difference. If you were to live on the 2nd floor you would come up to the 3rd floor for the dining room, just 1 floor up. But on the 2nd floor there's a mailbox station, just like there is on the 3rd floor there's a mailbox station. And then on the 2nd floor, you'll see a little bit later, we have our clinic. So where you would go to schedule your appointments, if you have any nursing questions regarding your medications.
Is there always a nurse on duty here?
That's a good question. So the question was, is there always a nurse on duty? And the answer is there's always a nurse in the building. Per our assisted living licensure, we do not have to have a nurse. We don't have to have a nurse, period. Other than a health and wellness director. We don't have to have nurses on the floor, per se. But our best practice here at Southport Square, specifically assisted living and memory care, is we have nurses in memory care 24/7. So we have a nurse in memory care, which he or she helps cover the entire building when overnight. Because in assisted living, we utilize medication technicians for the most part, med techs. But at night, sometimes we'll have a nurse scheduled. It really just depends on the schedule and who we have hired at the time. So, and then we do have a weekend supervisor that's here for a nurse that's administrative-wise on the weekend. So she works Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, and then we have a health and wellness director for assisted living and a health and wellness director for memory care. And they're here Monday through Friday, roughly about 8 to 5-ish. Yeah.
David?
Yes.
What, for some reason I thought memory care was 1 floor and assisted living another.
That's a good question. So geographically, the way it's laid out is 3rd floor is entirely assisted living.
Okay.
2nd floor is assisted living throughout the main hallways. You'll notice the main halls and then the back way is a hallway instead of the dining room. The bookends, I call them, is our memory care neighborhoods. So they make the ends of the building. And if you see, this lanai right here on the 2nd floor is actually the memory care lanai. It's a bigger lanai for our memory care residents to enjoy. So you'll see when we get down to the 2nd floor where the doors start, you'll be able to see that. Here on the 3rd floor, it's entirely assisted living.
And I'm looking around here, and this is obviously the easy chair. Where's my television set going?
So you could do, without the mirror there, you could put the TV on there or we could mount it to the wall.
Oh,
Some people do it there in the corner and kind of pivot it out a little bit. It really just depends on your preference.
okay.
So I will tell you that a lot of our residents, as you can see,
Sitting in the common.
they use the common areas and they really only maybe watch TV in the morning or at night. Some of them don't have TVs, they just like to read their books. It really depends. It's your preference. And you can see over there that's a closet. It's a good sized closet. It goes all the way to the wall. We can open it up and check it out when we have some room to do so. But all the bathrooms are pretty much the same. Some have a little bit different of a vanity. It just depends on the last resident that was there.
But this would only be for a single person.
That is a great question. So our studios are for one person.
Yeah.
2 residents cannot occupy a studio,
Oh.
square footage wise. So therefore a couple would utilize a 1-bedroom apartment. Okay. And I think that's about it regarding this studio. Any questions?
Third is the roses that bloom in the lane. No need explaining, the one remaining is somebody I adore. I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover I overlooked before. Hi.
So this is our assisted living dining room. As you can see, we've got it set up. We use it 3 meals a day. So currently we're using it for breakfast and lunch at the moment. We're working on getting dinner opened up. But you would come here for all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can see outside there's an outdoor space as well to eat your meals out there if that's something that you would like to do. These months I wouldn't recommend it. It gets a little hot.
Do residents pick their own dining companions, or do you decide who's going to eat with them?
Nope, just like it would be in independent living, you can sit wherever you'd like. There's no seating assignment. Although I will tell you, we do have, as I'm sure you are a little particular as well, we have some particular residents that like to sit at their normal seat.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean that we could change it. We wouldn't change it up for anything. Okay. So we do a lot of the questions I've gotten before talk about diets. So we do offer special diets if a resident's on a low carb or low cholesterol, whatever it may be. We can alter the diets and offer different textures or different diets as well.
Do the residents get a choice of items for the meals, entrees and such?
That's a good question. So it's laid out as a choice of a menu. So the menu has 2 full choices. Both of them have the super salad, the meal itself, the sides, as well as different choices for desserts. And if one of those 2 options doesn't look great to you and you want something else, let's say a cheeseburger, grilled cheese, just a regular salad, we can always offer you that. So there's always the always available menu. Any other questions? Any questions about the apartment that I may not have answered? No? All right. We're going to go out this way. We're going to take a left. You're going to get to see the library area. I'll get to talk a little bit about the kitchen space, answer any questions that you may have there. Your other left. Guys, so you can see that we've got our library here. We've got the Flora ceiling bookshelves. Oh, well, hello, stranger. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah, good.
Hi, Shirley.
That's a great question.
Hi.
So the library was previously maintained by one of our residents' loved ones, her daughter. She's no longer with us here in assisted living, the resident that is. She's down in the health center, and I believe she still comes up and maintains the library. But to be truthful with you, I couldn't tell you the last time that it was officially maintained. But it was, as you can see, there's labels and everything.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you that it's the Dewey Decimal System, but it was set up. I believe it's categorized. So it is categorized, but you can see there's books, and on that back bookshelf there's puzzles, and we get a lot of puzzle players or puzzle doers. Yeah, as you can see, there's a puzzle being completed at the far table. So this is the little bit quieter side, not as head on through, not as hustle and bustle as the activities area would be. But I'm not going to forget to show you the laundry room and the outside lanai area, so we'll go see that. But before we do that, just behind or beyond this ledge or countertop is the kitchen. So let me go around and turn on the lights and you guys can come look at it. Folks, so if you can see over, that's good. If you want to come around, that's okay as well. We always offer snacks 24/7. So if you're hungry, you come out in the middle of the night and grab some snacks. Like I said, full sink, stovetop, stove, microwave, full fridge and freezer. It's open for you guys to use, for our residents to use. So you can come and cook.
Is there a problem with residents putting their own food in there, for example, and then it disappearing?
That problem has not been brought to my
Good.
desk.
You would hear about it. If
But
it's not a problem.
if it was a problem, I would think I would definitely hear about it. So far,
Okay.
I think it's always stocked with drinks,
Oh,
juices, milks.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can always come and grab a drink as well. All included with your monthly service fee here. Any questions about the kitchen area?
You want to step up and see?
If I see coffee pots there, it's a Keurig machine. Would the resident be responsible to bring their own Keurig?
Yes, so these Keurigs, I believe, are brought by our staff. They like to make their coffee, so they brought in their Keurigs. But if you wanted to have your Keurig in your room, there is a really nice setup in one of the apartments that I've seen where they brought in a hutch, I'll call it, and it's in their entryway, and you can see that they just hook up the Keurig machine, because all you need to do is pour the water in, right? It doesn't need a water line. So they utilize that. They keep, bread, things like that. They can stay out on the countertop, and that's kind of their little efficiency kitchen. And it substitutes, milk and cereal. If you want to make yourself a PB&J, it's a nice little spot to do that. All right. So why don't you all head back, and you can check out the lanai back there, and check out the door there. That lanai is for our memory care residents, and there's one on each side. The layout is exactly split down the middle.
Is it nice?
After you, sir.
Yes, excuse me, I'm on your
Okay.
way.
No, you're not.
Uh-oh, photo op. This kiosk right here is for our staff. That is where all the drop-offs go for the pies, pizzas, all that food. Yeah, right there. That's where it would go. Yeah. All right, Mrs. Drum, we're gonna go in. That way you can go in,
Whatever you get.
and then you can check it out and come out. Okay? So to the right is gonna be the kitchenette, and then straight ahead is her living room,
Oh,
and then you'll be able to see her bedroom. So we'll go two groups. We'll let you guys go second. Is that okay? No, there's nothing in the regulation that states you have to have a nurse. We have to have one during the daytime hours that takes orders.
Calls are here. I never thought much of that. But this is really fair.
You have to have a nurse in the building that is able to receive doctors. But it doesn't have to be around the clock.
Pretty weak. Pretty flimsy. Okay.
What do you guys think of the apartment?
Very nice.
It's pretty nice, right?
yeah, she brought over most everything she had.
Yeah, she brought
I
over a
mean,
lot.
It's crowded, but she brought over
Yeah, it's a good
everything she had.
space.
All
It's a
her
good
little
space.
friends, her
Yeah.
little.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you like it.
She started to clean.
Thank you.
So the information that I shared, if you don't mind, I'll actually take that back. I'll give you 2 extras on. So the information that I shared, the first one's going to be some prices, some amenities, and what your monthly service fee includes. Flipping it onto the second page is going to be the start of what I call the Exhibit Z. Those are those clinical care charges. It's your level of care charge. So there's a few pages of that, and you can see what that looks like. I won't go into too much detail, but you can read it at night when you're bored. The next page is going to be a more detailed list of the services and amenities. So you can see that. Moving along, the last 3 pages is the most important, I think. It's going to be your layouts. So like I talked about, the Naples is the 1-bedroom with the 1 large bath. That's the last apartment we just saw with all the ships in it.
That was the one with the couple in it.
That was one with the couple in it. Yes, that's correct. If you flip it to the next page, that's going to be the Sarasota, which is the 1-bedroom, 1 bath with the kitchenette. That was Mrs. Drum's apartment. Yeah. And then last but not least is our studio, which is the model I showed y'all in the beginning. Okay? Any questions? Last but not least, I'll talk about 2 more things. This office right over here that we see with the 2 great individuals in there working, that's going to be our health and wellness director's office. So both Chris, who's assisted living health and wellness director, and Sarah, who's our memory care health and wellness director, they're right there. And on the back of their office, you can kind of see the doorway. That's our clinic, but you can also get to it around the side. So any changes in your medications, if you're feeling funny, if you've got any clinical questions, you'd go right to the clinic for those questions. Other than that, we've got apartments along the main halls, and then the bookends that I talked about gonna be memory care. Yes.
David,
Yes.
a resident asked me, and I thought I gave him the right answer, but I want to make sure. Can people have pets here?
What answer did you give them?
I'm sorry?
What answer did you give?
I said they can have them as long as they can take care of them themselves.
Wow, she's hired. No, that is an accurate answer. So we can also take care of the pets as well. We like our assisted living residents to be able to take care of their pets, but we do offer, you'll see in the Exhibit Z, there is a charge for pet care. And even in memory care, we do allow pets as well. We have started grandfathering in residents, so all of our independent living residents, you can come out, it's okay.
No, I'm trying to get to the first one.
Oh, okay. We're kind of choosy, selective on those that are moving in externally with the pets. Yeah, but we do have a pet policy. So as long as residents follow the pet policy, that's okay. All right? It's a good question. Any other questions?
Can you, if you live here,
Yes.
can you go over, let's say, to the bistro or?
You can do anything you'd like for the most part.
Oh.
For the most part, as long as we have a doctor's order that states that you are free to come and go as you please, which it sounds like a silly thing, but as long as we have that as an order for your medical record, you can go to the grocery store, you can go to the bistro, you can go play pickleball, play tennis, swim,
I don't do that now.
go in the spa. You can do all the above.
Okay.
So, any other questions? Those were some good questions.
Thank you so much, David.
You're very welcome. I'm glad you guys have some information to take with you. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. I'm at extension 401. I only allow 1 call a day. No, I'm kidding. You can call as often as you'd like. I know it'll tell me who's calling, so if I don't answer and I'm at my desk, you might know there's a reason. No, I'm just kidding again. You guys can call anytime you want. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. If you'd like to come back and show your son, your daughter, your sister, your brother, your dogs, if you want to show them, that's okay too. We can get you set up and show you the apartments. Okay?
And your office is always open if you're not there in case someone dropped off, say, an apple pie?
It's there, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm usually here from about 7:30, 7:45 to roughly 5:30. Sometimes I try to get out early. But
So during this training, you not only learn how to fly, but you learn how to lead soldiers. During the training, each officer has a specific job within the company. It's not technically a leadership role, it's more of an additional duty. You might be the historian or the secretary or the event coordinator, but you don't get to pick those jobs. Those jobs are assigned to you according to your weakness. So, I don't know if you guys know what this is, but I was a road guard officer, which means as the company runs along, you run along outside of the company, you sprint to an intersection, you hold the intersection, wait for everybody to pass you by. Then you sprint back to your position to keep up with everybody else. It is an awful job, it is a terrible job. And I was chosen for that job because I was a weak runner. It was a sick joke, I guess. But, I mean, I can't count the times I thought my heart would explode, or there was just not enough air in this world for me to catch it finally. But, nonetheless, I knew that if I didn't accomplish my task, the whole company would be punished for my weakness. So as a result, I became a fast runner. And that was just to protect my company from my own shortcomings. This type of training is unique to the military. We are required to hold a position that we are not good at and improve ourselves, which in turn improves the entire team. There's no other organization on earth that would employ you and then play to your weakness. But in the end, this creates a team with a brotherly bond that makes us capable of surviving combat. The brotherly bond also extends in the veterans' home and family lives. For example, when I graduated from flight school, we were required to help process before seeing our families. We had not seen our families in over 8 weeks, and so everybody was hustling to turn in their equipment. When they announced we could go see our families, I had more equipment than everybody else, so it was clear I was going to be there quite a bit longer than everybody else. One of my teammates came up to me and started to help me. He said, "No, you have a family. Go hang out with your family, I'll take care of this." And his response to me is, "You have a family too, and I'll see my family when you get to see yours." I think that speaks volumes about that mindset. During my service, I was deployed several times to combat zones. One mission in particular, I was deployed to Afghanistan as an air mission commander of a scout weapons team. My team was charged with protecting a humanitarian convoy in the mountains bordering Pakistan. While in the village, the Taliban snipers started targeting the aid workers, causing humanitarian efforts to stop. As the humanitarian team was loaded up into the convoys, my team cleared the road, provided armed escort back as they negotiated the treacherous mountain roads to the forward operating base. About midway back to the base, the convoy started receiving sustained heavy machine gun fire from elevated positions. And to make matters worse, one of the vehicles had become disabled on these mountain roads. Now these mountain roads are very, very narrow. You can't make a U-turn, you can't turn around. Once you're in a straight line, that's all there is. So the one vehicle that had become disabled essentially stopped that whole line from moving. So they were taking effective fire and couldn't move. There was an overwhelming number of fighters just on the hillside above the convoy's position. With them unable to move forward and back, the convoy was now taking sustained heavy machine gun fire simultaneously from multiple elevated positions. My team, along with 2 gun trucks in the convoy, in the front and the back, engaged the enemy positions. We had to rearm multiple times. We were able to provide cover for the convoy mechanic to make the necessary repairs. By this time, the convoy's gun trucks were about to run out of ammunition. So had they run out of ammunition, the enemy fighters were so close, they were going to be on top of the vehicles. It was imperative that those gun trucks had enough ammunition to sustain the fight and make it back to the base. I was able to set up an artillery fire mission on the backside of the mountain. Artillery fire mission on the backside of the mountain so the enemy couldn't resupply their fires, allowing my team to resupply the gun trucks. Now, I flew an armed scout helicopter. It's a two-person helicopter where you sit so close, you touch shoulders. There's no baggage compartment, there's no place to put anything. So you carry everything with you on you. What we did is we stacked ammo cases and bullets in our lap and on the dash so high that we couldn't see. It was kind of flying outside of the aircraft like that as well as, so it made it difficult to fly, it made it difficult to see what you were doing. We then landed under fire while our supporting aircraft covered us. There was no way to support this operation alone. So I enlisted the help of another nearby scout weapons team, and they started helping. It was almost like a round robin. The two aircraft teams conducted multiple resupply and attack missions, a continuous artillery mission, and one valiant mechanic working underneath that broken truck. We finally got that convoy back to base. Now when I mean a valiant mechanic, we are shooting, the gun trucks are shooting, and he's underneath that truck trying to turn around. I don't know what he was doing, I'm not a mechanic. I'm sure whatever it was much more difficult at that point. And he was able to get that thing back on the road and back moving. It essentially locked the axles. It wasn't moving anywhere until he got over there and, I don't know, did what mechanics do, I guess. So again, looking at this situation, I tell you this story because it's a bad situation. Small space, small mountain road. Group of people from vastly different backgrounds, for the most part strangers, just voices on a radio. All of us, both working independently and as a team, to form a task to ensure the group succeeds, and more importantly, return home alive. The success of the team is paramount in situations like these and what bonds the veterans community, especially combat veterans. Since my time in the military, I've stayed in public service. I worked with the State Department as in the International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Bureau, as well as the DOD's Counter-Narcotics Global Support Division. Before finding my place here at the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Working in the public realm can be much different. You're hired for what you're good at, and you're expected to succeed. And truthfully, I mean, it really makes a whole lot more sense, right? You don't play your weaknesses anymore. But the mindset that was built into me way back in basic training, the ability to perform a job without asking why or how to do it. To work with men and women you can trust enough to walk into a combat zone and believe that someone else has your back. That ability is one of the most valuable lessons I've ever learned. There's one of the quotes I like to look at when I think about veterans. Ronald Reagan has a ton of great quotes when it comes to veterans. And he said, "We the people of the United States of America have prospered as no other people on planet Earth. The price for this freedom has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. And for those that say we are in a time where there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. I think those of us in the room know exactly where to look. These are our veterans and our honored dead. Those are our heroes." But he also said, in another breath, another speech, "Our enemies must know there is a price we will not pay, and there is a point at which they must not advance. That price is the freedom we enjoy in the United States of America." And the veteran was a line in the sand that made that statement credible. Thank you for allowing me to touch your day. God bless you. God bless America.
Okay, that was great. Very inspirational. Can I have my veterans man their flags? Please. And you notice they're all dressed. Thank their wives. They look great. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. You ready? I'm ready. Yeah. Mark. Okay. We're gonna do the Army first. So I'll let you move up here. Okay, all members of the Army stand up, please. Great job. Great job. And now we'll have a cutting of the cake, and I assume that Smita has a knife.
She wouldn't trust you with one?
Sword would be better. Okay, Shane, come on. Someone take a picture? Here we go.
Hey, one, two, three.
Group task, right? Group task.
Okay, I'm here to tell you about Taps Across America, which was on Memorial Day. At 3 o'clock on Memorial Day, people play an instrument on their lanai or outside or by a monument or anything like that. And it's 3 o'clock, whatever time zone they're in, and there's tens of thousands of people do this. So I had to do it. I'm out on my lanai and I played the taps, and it was a great feeling to think I was playing along with like 10,000s of other people. Anyway, go and look at YouTube for Taps Over America, and you'll see all the different people. There's Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and young people, old people, cornets, you name it, and it's really neat to look at. So take a look at it, and I guess we all had a happy Memorial Day.